everyone. On behalf of the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee of ICAI, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Yashashwini, an Ideal Series 88. Yashashwini, an Ideal is a Wednesday series of programs conducted by the WYMEC for the women CAs and by the women CAs. This series is an extension of Sky High Symposium, which concluded its 100 episodes. It is one of the committee's initiatives to not only disseminate information to women members on technical updations and non technical skills, but also to empower and inspire women members to come at the forefront and realize their verbal skills at public forum. Now, I welcome CA Priyanka Mundada, our honorable speaker for this session. Ms. Priyanka is a CA and system auditor with 12 plus years of experience in finance, accounts, and taxation. Currently manager in accounts payable department at a leading advertising agency, handling India operations with expertise in compliance, vendor management, and process optimization. Priyanka ma'am, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dishita. I hope I'm audible and visible also.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thanks once again, Dishita, for this beautiful introduction. And thank you to WIMEC to give me this opportunity. I will not take much time. I'll just start the presentation. Just let me share my screen once. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, the screen is visible.
Yeah. So today's topic is invoice management system under GST IMS, which is not very old functionality which has been introduced by GST government. So we will I'll be um, telling about this functionality and the benefits, the challenges which we are facing, or the taxpayer is facing with the this IMS functionality. So before that, I'll just brief about the topics which I am covering in today's session is like what is invoice management system, key features of invoice management system, how to access IMS, how IMS works, eligibility of ITC, timeline to keep documents as pending, then latest updates into IMS, and introduction of the import of goods section in IMS system, and lastly the summary. So we'll start with what is invoice management system. As everyone is aware about the GST, since the implementation of GST, there are lot many changes happening into the GST law to streamline the GST GST portal functionalities for the benefits of the taxpayer as well as the professional while filing the returns or doing the compliances. So, Goods and Service Tax Network has also enhanced a functionality of invoice management system, which is the one of the most important development into GST portal. This functionality gives us the transparency basically, and very easily the taxpayer or the professional can avail the tax credits or accept it or reject the invoices whatever are their fit invoices, and if the invoices is not pertaining to their respective area, they can easily reject it or keep it pending if there are any kind of disputes. So this functionality is basically to give the transparency to taxpayers, basically to understand to real time, they can understand the real time liability or the real time credit availability of theirs. So IMS was introduced on GST portal from October 24 period. So as I said, IMS enables recipient taxpayers to accept, reject, or keep pending individual records uploaded by suppliers through GSTR1 or IA or IFF. Moving to the next point. the key features of the invoice management system. As I mentioned, there are too many benefits of IMS functionality. I have plotted a couple of points here. The very first and most important point is like accept, reject, or keep the invoice or the document pending on the GST portal. So this function is available on the GST portal itself, where recipient of the invoice or recipient of the tax can flag each document, be it invoice, be it credit note, or any amendment to that invoice or credit note, as accepted, or taxpayer can keep it pending, or they can reject if the invoice is not relevant for their particular area. So this acceptance, rejection, and pending must be done as per the timeline which is allowed as per GST norms. Accordingly, they can accept it, reject it, or keep it pending. This ultimately allows them, in case if they are keeping anything on pending, it will allow them to time to resolve their disputes or verification, to ensure the correct credit availability or eligibility. If a taxpayer does not take any action during the stipulated time period, it will result into deemed acceptance. This point I have covered multiple times because it is very easy activity not to accept and let it go into GSTR returns, but this carries its own risk as well. So I have covered this point couple of times. Then, apart from accept, reject, pending functionality, there is ITC reversal flexibility available to us. So, with this functionality or with this feature, taxpayer declare the exact ITC availed and only reverse the attributable amount on acceptance of any pending credit note or amendment. So, basically, here the taxpayer can accept the invoices which are relevant to them. There is possibility, very rare chances, but still there is possibility, erroneously one supplier can file a return and plot an incorrect GST number, which will get linked to the other taxpayer where the invoice is not related to that person. So in that case, the person can straightforward reject the invoice if it is not applicable. Secondly, if the invoice is into dispute, so at the time, if you are not sure the dispute will get resolved immediately or not, at that time they can keep it pending till the time of dispute resolution instead of accepting or rejecting the invoice straightforward. So this will give the functionality to the taxpayer to avail the GST credit on accurate basis, instead of first availing the credit and then if the dispute is not getting resolved, then reverse the credit along with interest. So this won't happen here in this functionality or in this um, feature. So if ITC was never claimed on any invoice, then in that case there is no reversal of any invoice or any ITC related amount. So for example, there was one invoice of rupees 100 which was not claimed originally, and then supplier subsequently raises a credit note to that, then the taxpayer does not need to accept that credit note. They can straightforward reject both invoice as well as credit note. So this will ensure that there is no reversal of the credit which was not claimed originally. Then, thirdly, there is GSTR to be integration. This is again a very important feature which is available into IMS portal. So, this functionality gives us to this will let go the manual activity which we earlier used to do. So we earlier used to do, okay, check the credits are claimed properly or not. But with this functionality, as we are accepting the invoices on a real time basis and before filing our GSTR 3B return, so the entire data, whatever is the eligible credit, will get auto populated into GSTR 3B. So there won't be any requirement to manually do any exercise over there. This will get auto populated. It is just a matter of cross checking of your accuracy from per se. Otherwise, it will get auto populated. So only accepted documents flow to the GSTR 2B for ITC claiming, and the pending or rejected items will not flow to GSTR to be rejected straightforward. Any which ways will not go to GSTR to be, but the items which we kept on pending will be there onto IMS portal or IMS functionality as a open till the time we are not accepting it. Then no action by the GSTR 3B deadline results in deemed acceptance. Again, if we are not doing any action on that, then it will be resulted as a deemed acceptance. Then additionally, taxpayer can save optional remarks. Again, a wonderful functionality here. Taxpayer can mark a remark while accepting or rejecting or pending the or keeping the record as pending. This remark will again automatically populate into GSTR 2B, which will help into reconciliation and a clear communication to the taxpayer. So to be integration is another important feature. Then bulk action and download. So in GSTR portal, IMS functionality where there are multiple invoices, we can see the invoice listing one by one, and we have to accept it or reject it or keep it pending. So it is very cumbersome activity for the taxpayer who have hundreds of invoices or maybe 1,000 of invoices. So in that case, they can simply download the Excel. They can do their exercise. What is accepted, what is rejected, what need to be kept on hold. So they can do that exercise, and then on the GST portal they can select multiple invoices in one go and just click on save button. This will improve the time efficiency, and it will be helpful to everybody to reduce their manual activity. So this is the functionality where we can action bulkly, and we can download the details into Excel file. Then the IMS functionality is very compliance friendly. IMS does not increase any kind of compliance workload. Any missed action automatically results into deemed acceptance. As I again repeating here, that will be resulted into deemed acceptance. The workflow is streamlined for the taxpayer with zero manual burden for unchanged invoices. We do not need to do any activity for rejection kind of criteria. We do not need to do any manual working here. Everything will be on just a simple click of accept, reject, or keep it on pending. So these are the functionality. Apart from this, there are the most important is like transparency and real time credit availment to the taxpayer. This is again not captured here, but the main functionality or the feature of the IMS portal, which is where we can go and check our invoices whether the supplier from whom we have consumed the services have really uploaded those invoices onto the portal or not, and with if it is uploaded, whether it is correctly uploaded or not, then we can keep it on pending. If not the correct action is done by the supplier, or we can straightforward reject it, or we can straightforward accept and go ahead with the credit availability. So these are the basic features of the IMS functionality. Moving to the next slide, how to access IMS over the GST portal. So here I have not captured the basic like login related stuff. Just you have to go to GST in portal. You have to log in into the GST in whatever you want to file the return or you want to avail the IMS functionality. Just go to the dashboard or the GST portal. Go to the services tab, which is near the dashboard. Out of then after services, go to the returns tab, and there at last there is a tab called invoice management system, which is IMS dashboard. Click on it. If we click on it, then IMS dashboard window will get open, where we can see the invoice acceptance, rejection, or pending related data along with the listing of the invoices. Then how IMS works. Once we log into the IMS portal, how the action should be taken. So here, if you see, once we click on this portal, IMS dashboard, window like this will get open, and it will reflect on your dashboard or on your screen, where there are details of the taxpayer, the supplier, so GST of the supplier, the invoice number, invoice date, and what kind of supplier is like regular, quarterly filer, or kind of data will be reflected here. Then there are three options which says accept, reject, and pending. So if you want to accept any invoice, you have to just go to the invoice. Here you need to select the invoice on the left hand side and then take the action whatever you want to do it. For example, accept, reject, or keep it pending. So from this left hand side column, you can select multiple invoices also. You need to just click on the boxes, and here whatever action you want to capture, you can capture it and then just save the option. So Supplier submission, supplier will submit GSTR1 by 11th of every month. So once he files the return or he saves the details, recipient dashboard will appear the invoices. So the service recipient will get the invoice detail over his GSTN portal. So once he accept or reject or keep it pending, it will go to GSTR2B and then to 3B. So recipient action, recipients, as I said, can accept it, reject it, or mark as pending before filing GSTR 3B by 20th. So the timeline will be as per the norms and as per the amendments, whatever suits. So recipient will have to action that before filing. Again, once you do any action, like if you accept it, reject it, or keep it pending, you will have to generate GSTR 2B. So GSTR 2B generate get it is gets generated by 14th of the every subsequent month. But if you are doing any action after even 14, then you will have to manually generate the GSTR 2B option before you go and file the 3B return. Again, if you are not doing any kind of action, which will be treated as a deemed acceptance before GSTR 2B. So you will have to be very cautious while taking any step of accepting it or rejecting or keeping it pending. So this is the basic functionality or basic detail, basic window where you have to go and select the data. Then how the documentation flow to the IMS. So once you do your necessary action of accepting or rejecting or keeping pending, the document will be available. The document will be populated to the GSTR 2B after the filing of GSTR 1 return. Then as soon as the taxpayer saves the when the document will get available for the recipient. So once the supplier saves the invoice on his GSTR portal, GSTR1 return, this will get shown to the GSTR tax recipient on his IMS portal. There is not necessary that he'll be able to take the credit of the invoices, because it is only saved by the taxpayer and not filed the return. So basically, to take the credit of the invoice, the taxpayer or the supplier must file his GSTR1 return. But you can see the invoices as soon as he saves the invoice on his GSTR in his GSTR1 return. So accordingly, you can take the action. But credit eligibility is linked with the filing of the return by the by the supplier or the taxpayer. Then records available in IMS for taking an action. So all these saved or filed original invoices or records and their amendments by the suppliers through GSTR1 will be available to the recipient for taking actions in the IMS portal. However, the documents where ITC is not eligible, again, a very important clause, if the ITC is not available, those documents will not reflect into IMS portal to accept it or reject it or to keep it pending. It will directly go to the GSTR to be returned and set into the tab of ITC not available. So basically, the ineligible ITC falls under like place of supply basis or anything which is mentioned under section 16(4) of the CGST Act. So these invoices will not be available for the taxpayer to accept it or reject it. This will directly go to the ITC not available section of the GSTR to be returned, and from there into GSTR 3B. So once GSTR 3B for a period is filed, all accepted or rejected records for that GSTR 2B period will be removed from IMS. Only pending records and invoices for future tax period will remain. So basically, here I'm going back to the one slide. Here, whatever action you are taking, if you're accepting, for example, you're accepting 10 invoices and you're keeping one invoice pending, then 10 invoices will go away from this window for next tax period, and you will get only the invoice which you have kept as a pending, or a credit note which you have kept as a pending. Rejected invoice again won't appear here as you have already rejected them. So for next while filing next tax period return, you will get only invoices relevant to that tax period and pending invoices from earlier tax period. So here I have have done a summary of the entire activity. So how the documents flows and how the treatment happens. So once the taxpayer accept the invoice, the GSTR, it will ITC available section, it will flow to the ITC available section into GSTR 2B, and from there it will auto populate in GSTR 3B once you generate the GSTR 2B. GSTR 2B by default gets generated on 14th of every subsequent month. But if you are filing after that, or you are doing any action after that, ensure that you are regenerating GSTR 2B before you file your 3B. Otherwise, it will throw error of mismatch. Then if you are doing rejection, if you are selecting rejection as a treatment of the document, then ITC rejected will be into GSTR 2B, and it won't be populated into GSTR 3B. So here also it so ultimately rejected invoice won't reflect into in your 2B as well as into your 3B. Then if it is pending, if you are opting for a pending option, then it won't be part of your GSTR 2B, and it won't be again part of your GSTR 3B. But that pending invoice will remain open into IMS window to take you further action in next tax period. If you are not doing any action, it will be treated as deemed accepted for GSTR 2B, and from there it will be auto populated into GSTR 3B. Again, this deemed acceptance is very easy if you don't want to work, but it is very risky. If there is any kind of mismatch, then it will be trouble for you to go back to the supplier, ask for credit note, and then again accept it and do the other additional compliances. So it is always advisable to go check the invoices, whatever reflecting on your GST portal, on your IMS window. Check the invoices if it is accurate, and if you are able to, if you are eligible for the ITC, please go ahead and do as a accept or else reject, or keep pending in case of any kind of dispute, or you don't have any kind of clarity. So after that, there will be a eligibility of ITC. What once you do the necessary action of acceptance or rejection, or your keeping pending, then it will reflect into your 2B, and then there from there it will go to your 3B. So here, eligibility of ITC for invoices and for credit notes, there are two different criterias. Once you accept the invoice, or if you don't accept, it will get auto accepted, it will appear into your GSTR 3B, and you will be eligible to take that credit. As I said earlier, in case of ineligible transactions, it won't reflect onto IMS. It will directly go to the GSTR 3B return, or to be returned into not able, not eligible credit section. So here acceptance will appear as ITC available. A rejection, again this will be rejected, and no ITC eligibility will be there on that rejected invoice. If you are keeping it as pending, then it will exclude from GSTR 2B. It will be open on your IMS window, and again it will be excluded from your 3B. You won't be able to take credit of that invoice till the time you are not resolving it and accepting it. Then credit notes. Earlier, there was no functionality for the credit note to keep as pending. There was only two options available on the IMS portal, was as accept or reject. If you are not performing any action, that again deemed acceptance. Credit note again risky, because if you are not doing any action and if it got deemed accepted, then you will have to reduce your GST credit to that extent. So while accepting your credit note, it is very important to ensure that you are accepting a correct credit note, because once you accept the credit note, you will have to reduce your GST credit eligibility limit also, and there is a possibility you will end up with the paying the GST amount towards your outward supplier. So once you accept or deemed acceptance, it will reduce your GST credit. Then if you reject, no impact on your GST credit. If you keep it on pending, again no impact for that particular tax period on the GST credit. So no need to reduce any kind of your GST ITC eligibility. Then timeline. Again, very important point. What is the timeline to keep the documents as pending? You cannot keep it pending for the indefinite period. So any which ways for invoice, we have criteria that we can take the credit of the invoice in till we file the final return, like in the month of November for the following year of the financial year. So you can keep the invoice open till that period. That is what the cutoff for you to keep the invoice open. After that, you will have to either accept that invoice or reject or deemed acceptance, or after that you cannot keep it pending. It will get deemed accepted and you will be able to take the credit of that invoice. So here, if no action is taken till 14th, again it will be get included into 2b. By buyer can still mark the invoices as pending after 14th, but as I mentioned, you need to again regenerate your 2b before you file your 3b return. Then pending invoices remain in IMS until the cutoff date, which is November 30th of the following financial year, as per section 16(4) of CGST Act. If again we are not doing any action, it will get accepted by deemed accepted, and then sorry, it will not get deemed accepted. You will lose that credit amount because you kept it on pending. If you are keeping it on pending, it will not get accepted automatically, so you will have to take the action manually there. So if you're not resolving your issues and accepting the invoice, then you won't be able to take the credit in future of that particular invoice. This is for invoices. For credit note, we do not have luxury of time. We cannot keep this the credit note open till November 30th of the following financial year. We have very limited time period to accept or reject the credit note. So as I mentioned earlier, there was no functionality of keeping pending, but now we have that functionality to keep the pending, but we can keep pending till the limited time period. So for credit note, if the taxpayer is a monthly filer, he can keep the credit note open only for one tax period and not more than that. So one tax period, when I say, it is only 1 month tax return eligibility criteria. And for quarterly file, again one tax period, which will be a quarter. So here I'll show with the example. For invoices, it is very easy. No need to give any kind of example. But for credit note, yes. For example, for a monthly filer, if you are filing your return on a monthly basis, so supplier files GSTR1, for example, on 10th of November, credit note reported in GSTR1, which are linked to your October return, because you are filing now in on 10 November, you will be filing a October period return. Applicable to be period, again October 25. Specified period allowed for pending credit note for a monthly filer is only 1 month. So next tax period after GSTR 3B 2B will be November 25. So last date when till when you can keep the credit note open will be due date of filing 3B for November month, which will be of course 28th December. Beyond that, you cannot keep that credit note open. This is for monthly filers. Same way for quarterly filers, for example, 10th January 26 is the GSTR1, October to December quarter. Credit notes reported into GSTR1 will be for October to December quarter tax period. Applicable to be returned will be for October to December 25 tax period. Specified period, as I said, one tax period. One tax period will be one quarterly return period, which will be Jan to March 26, and the due date will be for that will be a Jan to March period. Due date will be into April month, so 22 or 24th of the April, depends on the state. So this is the maximum time limit where we can keep the credit notes open. Moving to the next point, which are the latest updates about the IMS portal. So again, as I said, GST has its own amendments and uh, uh, multiple amendments into portal to streamline the processes, to streamline the returns. So recently there were two amendments. One is on the latest, which is the 30th October 25 dated, where GST, where import of goods has been introduced into IMS portal, and a bill of entry filed by the taxpayer for the import of goods, including import from SEZ unit as well, will be available into IMS for taking the action, same as accept it or reject it, or sorry, no rejection is available, accept or pending. Then on 17th October, there was another amendment where the taxpayer can avail keep the credit notes pending, and they can also there was the amendment of the partial eligibility of the rejection. So stated that IMS functionality has been enhanced to allow taxpayers to modify their ITC reversal amount upon acceptance of credit notes and other specified records, ensuring the ITC is reversed only to the extent actually it is required. So partial rejection is also now available on the functionality on the portal. So I have covered another latest amendment, which is introduction of import of goods into section in IMS. So to further enhance the taxpayer convenience, a new section, import of goods, has been introduced into the IMS. Earlier, import of goods was not there. In this particular function, they have introduced a bill of entry, a BOE, filed for import of goods, which includes not only the foreign import but import from the SEZ unit as well, will be made available in IMS for taking allowed action on individual BOE. Availability of this functionality is there from since October 25 period onwards. So recipient taxpayer will have the option again to either accept or keep a BOE pending. The most important point here, we cannot reject the bill of entry. We will have to either accept it or we will have to keep it pending. So it may be noted that if no action again taken on the individual BOE, it will be treated as deemed acceptance. Based on the action taken, the GSTN portal will generate the GSTR to be the same way for the regular functionality. However, the action taken can be changed even after generation of the draft GSTR to be till we before we file the GSTR 3B return. Um, I'm so sorry. Allow me a time of minute. Hello. Hello.
Priyanka ji, we are able to hear you. You
Okay.
can
I'm
continue.
so sorry. Actually, I'm struggling with the bad throat. So
No, no problem.
kindly bear with me. Thanks. Yeah. Is the PPT visible?
Yes, it's
Yes,
visible.
yes.
Yeah. So on this import of goods functionality, again, there are some subfolders or sub options available, subsections available on the IMS portal, where there is IMPG, which where we have like original bill of entry for import of overseas. We can see that. Then IMPG amendment, again, if there is any kind of import of overseas amended bill of entry, then that can be visible over there. Then IMPG SEZ, related to SEZ section, those entries will be visible over there. And IMPG SEZ amendments, which is A, so those entries will also be visible on the portal. So this kind of window you will be getting on the IMS portal. So here you go. This is again IMS Windows screenshot, where you can see IMPG, which is import of goods from overseas, amendments, then SEZ and SEZ related amendments. The same kind of options are available. If you don't take any kind of action, it will get auto accepted, then accepted, pending. There is no option of rejection. So this is only for import of goods. In any other cases, you will be able to see the option of rejection. Here it is not available. So as I mentioned, for the bill of entries, we are having options of acceptance, pending, and no action will be taken. So once you accept the record, again it will go to GSTR 2B, and from there it will get populated, auto-populated onto GSTR 3B portal while filing the return. Again, I'm saying you will have to cross-check the GSTR 3B before you final file. Any which ways, many times we give open the window and we confirm that whatever it is reflecting onto 3B is correct, and then we file. But it is always advisable to go cross check and then file your 3B return. Then if you are keeping pending, again to keep the record on hold, pending records will not become part of your 2B, and it will not even reflect on your part of 3B. So such records will be remain open onto IMS dashboard till the same time it is accepted. No action taken will be a deemed acceptance. The important point here is like reject action is not allowed for any kind of bill of entry. So either you will have to accept it or you will have to keep it on pending. So rejection is not allowed. Then pending action is like not allowed in following cases again. So whenever if there is any kind of downward value amendment into bill of entry where the action on original bill of entry was accepted and corresponding 3B has been filed, then in that case you cannot go and keep the BOE pending. This is at the time of implementation of this functionality. Then for reversal of any ITC in case of GST-IN amendment of BOE for the previous GST-IN is again you cannot keep it on pending. That will have to accept it. Then in case of any kind of multiple value amendments of a BOE, the latest record shall be shown into the IMS portal. There is a possibility like the supplier will keep on changing the BOE or will keep on amending the BOE. In that scenario, whatever is the latest amendment done by the supplier will get populated onto the IMS portal for the tax recipient. So here I'll go with the summary of the entire IMS functionality. So as I mentioned, if there is no action taken by you guys, it will get deemed accepted. Again, deemed acceptance is risky. It is not an easy task. Just to ignore, and it will get auto accepted. Once it got accepted, you cannot do anything other than amendment of your GSTR1 return, or you will have to go back to the supplier for credit note. So deemed acceptance, if you have not taken any action for invoice or for any credit note or for BOE in that case, for that matter, it will get accepted on the portal. Then once you make any kind of changes after filing of the 14th of the month to the GSTR to the IMS portal, you will have to mandatorily take action and recompute your GSTR to be returned. Then supplies which are not into IMS portal, for example, inward RCM. So wherever there is no credit available, it will directly go to the GSTR 3B return. It will not reflect on the IMS portal. In case of ITC ineligible, again the same function. It will directly go and sit into your GSTR 2B and 3B return. Then record flow, it will be visible on the IMS as soon as the supplier receives the invoices on the GSTR1, but you won't be able to take, or a tax recipient won't be able to take the credit till the time the supplier or the taxpayer files his return. So filing of the return is equally important to avail the ITC credit. Then post if anything is filed after 3B, after filing of the 3B, Then of course accepted, rejected or deemed accepted records will get removed from the IMS portal, and only pending records will be reflected on that window. Pending records, pending action stay in IMS can be acted upon in the future, but again there is a time limit as I mentioned. For credit note, one tax period, be it monthly or be it quarterly, and for invoices you will have to close it by 30th November of the subsequent month of the financial year. Then action on the amendment record, if there is any kind of amendment before which is so originally if you have acted into 3B, if there is only any kind of amendment, that same amendment will get reflected onto your GSTN portal. Then supplier changes anything before filing of the return, then it will be populated on your IMS dashboard. Then subsequential to sequential to be filing. So once you close your IMS windows, your action, it will go to your 2B and then it will auto populate it to the 3B. And again the same original credit note, upward CN amendment, downward CN amendments, these entire things are now available, which was not there in earlier period. So now this entire thing is available for you. So this is all about which I tried to cover into invoice management system. Yeah. Thank you. This is done from my end. I know it's well before time, but thanks and wish you all a great new year.
Thank you, Priyanka ma'am. It was a very nice session where a lot of information was given about invoice management system. But we can quickly, if there are some queries, we can look into it. So
Yeah,
just give
sure.
me a minute.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Manisha.
Yeah. So the first question is the IMS is in its present form is not user friendly due to limitation of 500 line items. Taxpayers with inward line items exceeding 500 still continue to defer to be credit in 4B2 and reclaim through 4D1. Is this allowed?
So yes, there is a limitation of the IMS portal because currently it is even not mandatory for everyone to opt for the IMS, so they can still go without IMS, and yeah, that is also allowed. You can do it like subsequently.
Okay. I hope. Are there any further questions?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Pooja here.
Yeah, Pooja.
Hi, Priyanka ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful insight. It was very helpful. I have jotted down few points that I was not really aware of. So my question is, so when an invoice is rejected on IMS, uh, how does the supplier take an action on it and till when he has to do it? Like if we are at the receiving end of a rejection of an invoice or a credit note, what is our liability?
So we are at the rejecting end.
Yeah, our invoice has been rejected. So how will that be intimated, and till when we have to take an action on it?
Yeah. So, a very wonderful question and a very practical challenge for lots of the suppliers who are facing. So, what generally the practice, what the supplier is have started to avoid any kind of rejection from their client, they
Correct.
generally take the acceptance from the client first, whether they
Mm,
will accept the credit note or not. Because see,
mm,
once you raise the credit note as a
mm,
supplier,
mm,
definitely, like you're raising it, and if your
mm,
client is not accepting, that means he's not
mm.
ready to reduce his
Yes,
liability.
correct.
Correct. In that case,
Mm,
if it is not if it is not accepted, then ultimately you will have to pay whatever is your current
mm,
liability. You will have to pay it, so it will
okay,
increase burden on you. So it is
okay,
always advisable, before any raising any credit note, ensure that your client will accept it, or else it
okay,
will backfall on us. And
okay.
this is
So
a
we'll have to.
practical challenge. This is a practical
Acha.
challenge. Yeah.
Correct. So we cannot, like, if it is challenged later on, like there is a resolution between the recipient and the supplier, then he will have to again file a fresh credit note, right? The
Yes.
one that is rejected is completely out of the system. He has to
Yes. Yes.
play liability in that month and then raise another credit note in next
Raise
month.
another credit note. So
Okay, okay.
the client can keep it on pending, but again, not for
Acha.
more than a month's
Acha.
period.
Okay, the supplier doesn't have an option on it.
So they
Oh,
can keep it pending only for a month's period, not more than that.
yeah, yeah,
So
that
this is
is.
very practical challenge. Even we are
Yeah,
facing our
because,
clients.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
correct, correct. Okay.
It's a practical challenge.
Yeah, that is it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, Pooja ma'am, can we wait for another 2-3 minutes for any other question to come up?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We are anyway way before
Uh,
time, I guess.
yeah. So there are some queries where people are saying that there is a network issue and all. So maybe some questions pop up in few minutes. So, ma'am, I don't think there is any question coming up over here. But if in case there is a question, can can they get you on your email ID or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Can they?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. I would like to give a vote of thanks to you. It has been a wonderful session, very enriching, very informative, and this was, I'm sure, it was not known to many since it's newly introduced. I mean, not newly, but still, it was introduced in last year, 24 October. So it's relatively not many people must be knowing it, or at least the intricacies of this, which you have very well explained. So thank you, ma'am. Uh, on behalf of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee, I would like to give a vote of thanks to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity as well. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for bearing my bad throat.
No, ma'am, that's the weather.
Yeah, yeah, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so after a wonderful session on GST IMS, we are moving on to our next speaker. So I have the pleasure of introducing you to CA Jagriti Thakkar. She is a fellow chartered accountant with 7 years of experience in tax planning and financial reporting. She is skilled in regulatory compliance and tax optimization and helps businesses make informed decisions based on the reliable information that she provides. So she will be speaking on navigating social media through intention and integrity. We are looking forward to hearing your insights on it, Jagriti. Over to you, please.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Thanks to the Women and Young Member Excellence Committee for giving me this opportunity. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. So today's
Not in
topic
the full
is
presentation mode, Jagriti. We can see on the right hand side, we can see, I guess, what you're supposed to say also. Yeah, this looks perfect.
okay. Fine. So the today's topic is navigating social media with intention and integrity. The objective of this topic is to enable us how we as an individual and as a professional should navigate social media. Social media itself doesn't need an introduction in today's time. It is like day in, day out, we are using the various social media apps. It is the tool for communication, for expressing ourselves to the world, for information sharing and knowledge sharing. It has like become an integral part of our life. For example, any small event happening at any part of the world, any new law coming in, or even a small internet trend, everything becomes everything become viral or spread across the internet very quickly. So it also become important to use social media thoughtfully and wisely. If we speak about at personal level, social media allow us to communicate, to self-reflection, and to express ourselves to the world. But it also causes it also influence our emotions and our daily habits. Professionally, social media is a tool which allow us personal branding, knowledge sharing, career opportunities. But it can also cause misinformation, stress, and reputational risk. So definitely, this session is not about telling you to stop using social media, but it is about using it wisely, ethically, and in a way that meets both our career objective and our personal well-being. Yeah. So the session objective. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand how social media affects our professional life, both positively and negatively. Second is we need to learn the digital engagement, which should be intentional and should not be reactive. We should learn the integrity and ethics in digital space. And finally, we should build healthier digital habit that achieve both our career growth and our personal well-being. Social media in professional life. Social media plays a multiple role in our professional life as well, like personal and organizational branding. What you post, it reflects your values to the viewers, and it is like they have an image of you before they even meet you. Second is networking and visibility. Social media offers networking and visibility by allowing us to connect with professionals across industries and location. The platforms like LinkedIn or even Instagram can open doors for collaborator, for the mentors, etc. Thought leadership. It's a tool for thought leadership where sharing insights can position you as a knowledgeable and credible professional. And reputation management. It is again a tool for reputation management because what you post, comment, or repost shows your values and professionalism. Why intention matters? Intention is the difference between using social media and being used by it. Because without intention, we tend to fall for mindless scrolling, which can also cause burnout, fatigue, and which drain our energy and time. With intention, our digital action is aligned with our career goals and personal values. Intentional using also improve focus and productivity because we are not constantly distracted. And it also supports our mental well-being because it reduces anxiety, comparison, and burnout. Key challenges for professionals. Professionals face real challenges online because oversharing personal opinions, which can be misunderstood or taken out of context. Misinformation, if you are sharing something which is not true, can lead to credibility loss, and it also happens very quickly. You can also face burnout and digital fatigue because of always being online, and public online conflict, which can escalate very quickly and cause loss of reputation. What is integrity online? Integrity online means behaving the same way digitally as you would in person, like being honest and transparent in what you share, what you post, what you repost. You need to communicate respectfully even when you disagree to any matter. Third is you should be accountable for your online action, like what you post or what you repost. And finally, making ethical decision, especially when it can impact others. Digital footprint. Everything we do online contribute to our digital footprint because what we post or repost is permanent and is searchable even if we delete it. then it is visible to employee and client. So employee, the colleague and client often look at your online profile before making any decision. So anything which you post, which you might have posted online previously, can also affect the decision. And digital footprint also directly impact the trust and credibility and the career growth of an individual. Next is ethical posting guideline. So before posting anything, you must consider this ethical posting guideline. Before sharing any information, you must verify the information, because when it is accurate, it leads to trust, it leads to credibility. You should always respect the privacy and confidentiality, especially in the professional setting. You should never uh, post any confidential information online. You must credit the original creator to acknowledge the intellectual efforts, and always maintain professionalism even on personal setting. Mental health and social media. Social media uh, is meant to keep us engaged. However, likes and comments can trigger dopamine and validation cycle. The comparison culture can make us feel pressured or inadequate, and the excessive screen time can lead to fatigue and burnout. So we should be mindful. Social media, the excessive use of social media also affects our mental health. We should be mindful of these. If we are aware of this impact, we can use social media effectively and refrain from any such consequences. Healthy digital habits. If we adapt to some of the healthy digital habits, it can help us to regain control. First is set time boundaries. We should be aware like when and how long we will be online. We can curate, or we should rather curate meaningful content which educate or inspire us. We should engage with purpose and not impulse, and we can practice digital detox. Even a shorter break can help us to reset the focus. Professional integrity checklist. So before posting anything, we should just pause and ask ourselves, is it truthful? Is it respectful? Would I say this face to face, or does it add value? If answer to any of these four is no, it is worth reconsidering. And key takeaways: be intentional about how and why do you engage online. Be ethical about what you post. Be responsible for your digital footprint. And most importantly, be human. That is kind, thoughtful, and humble. So that's it from my side.
I'm just checking if there's any questions. So there are no more questions right now. So I really like to thank you, and thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you, Jagruti ma'am, for such a wonderful insight about the social media. It definitely like how we are.
Jagriti ma'am,
Yes,
am I audible? Jagriti ma'am?
yes.
Ma'am, actually, you have to take the session for an hour, and it's not more than 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please, is it okay if you can take some give us a glance about this topic as well, ma'am?
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. हेलो. नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं, वो मैम इज देयर ना, सो कुछ बात हो रही थी मैम से.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. So, social media, sorry. Yeah. In today's world, social media plays a powerful role both personally and professional life because it shapes how individuals communicate and reflect themselves to the world. Personally, it enables connection, self-expression, and access to information, but it also influences our emotions and our daily habits. Professionally, social media is a powerful tool for networking, personal branding, career opportunities, and knowledge sharing. However, a single post can open doors to the career, to the new career, or it can also affect the reputation of an individual, which which makes the thoughtful use essential. We have seen we have seen people getting trolled for saying something online, or even a small act of like setting aside a bottle of cold drink by a famous sportsman have led to impact the company's stock prices, and we have seen people getting trouble legal issues for saying something online. We have also seen people, like a common people, getting overnight fame because of social media. So that is the power of social media. So when we are using social media, we should first be aware about the truthfulness before we share anything. For that, we can have a pause before post rule, because when a content comes online, we might not know the full story. We might not know the truth. So before, unless and until we know the full truth behind it, the full story behind it, we should refrain from posting anything. Second important thing also is that it is us we who drive social media. It is our post, our repost, our comment which make any post viral. So it is our reaction that makes social media so powerful. So in that way, we should be mindful while using social media. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Social media in professional life. We use social media. Sorry, एक minute. Personal and organizational branding. We as a person use social media at an individual level. Organization also use social media for branding and advertisement. So while doing so, they should be mindful of the post that they make, because it can also damage the organizational branding if they post anything uh, which is misleading. Networking and visibility. Uh, Social media is a powerful tool for networking and visibility because it allows you to connect with professionals across industries and location. So that way, it is a positive thing. Thought leadership. When you share your insights, your views on social media, it can also position you as a knowledgeable and credible professionals. And reputation management. Social media can affect your reputation also, because when when you share any misinformation, it can lead to credibility loss. Intention. Why intention matters? Because if you use social media without intention, then it can lead to mindless scrolling, which drain your energy and your time. With intention, your digital action is aligned with your career goals and your personal values. If you are using social media with intention, it can improve the focus and productivity because you are not constantly distracted. And it also supports your mental well-being because it reduces anxiety, fatigue, and burnout. Challenges for professionals. Social media can create some of the challenges for professionals as well, because when you are sharing your personal opinions, it can be misunderstood or maybe taken out of context. If you are sharing any misinformation, it can lead to credibility loss. You can feel burnout or digital fatigue because of always being online. It drain your energy, and you can get into the public online conflict, which can escalate very quickly and may lead to reputational risk. Integrity online is uh, behaving the same way online as you would in person, with honesty and transparency in what you share. You should communicate respectfully even when you disagree with something. You should be accountable for your online action, like what you post or comment or repost, and you should make ethical decisions, because your content could impact others. Digital footprint and reputation. Whatever we post online is permanent and it's searchable even if we delete it. It is visible to our employers, to our client, to our colleagues, which may have a look at it before making any decision. So it is important to have a digital presence which truly reflects your values. And the digital footprint directly impacts your trust and credibility and your career growth. Ethical posting guideline. Before sharing anything, you must verify that the information is correct, because accuracy leads to trust. Respect the privacy and confidentiality of people. Should never post anything confidential online. You must credit the original creator, acknowledging the intellectual efforts, and should always maintain professionalism even on personal account. Mental health and social media. As we already discussed, because of the social media, it affects our daily habit also. So, when we are about likes and comments, when we are searching for it, like likes and comments on our post, it may lead to dopamine and validation cycle. If we are comparing ourselves with others, it can lead to make us feel inadequate or pressured. And excessive screen time can lead to fatigue and burnout. Healthy digital habits. Healthier habits can help us to regain control. So we can set time boundaries, deciding on how long and why we'll be digitally engaged. We can curate meaningful content which is educative. We should engage with purpose and not impulse. And we can practice digital detox, which can really help in today's time. A shorter break, which can help us to regain focus. Professional integrity checklist. Before posting anything, we must see that whether it is truthful, is it respectful, would I say this face to face to anyone, or does it add value? If answer to any of these is no, it is worth reconsidering. The key takeaway is be intentional about how and why you are about your online action. Be ethical in what you share. Be responsible for your digital footprint, and be human, that is kind, humble, and thoughtful. Now, you can have a self-reflection activity where uh, where you can ask yourself certain questions like, why do you use social media professionally? Does your online presence truly reflects your values? How much time do you spend daily on social media? And identify one habit you would like to change. About social media is a platform for networking and communicating knowledge sharing. However, we should be mindful and thoughtful while using it, because we must understand that behind every screen there is a human being. We can have the pause before post rule, and using it as a powerful tool and not just a, a thing that influence us and taking us to another direction. We can also think of a real world scenario, like if a professional shares unverified industry news that later turn out to be false, then we can think of what went wrong, what can be the consequences of this, and what should have been done differently. So as we discussed that pause before post rule, before posting anything, we must verify the truthfulness of the information that we are sharing. We must consider how it will affect our personal and organizational branding. We should be intentional and we should behave with integrity. Yeah, that's it from my side. If anyone has any question, we can take up that.
Hi, Jagrati, Pooja here.
Hello, hello. Hi, Pooja.
Yeah, hi. Okay. I guess there were good bullet points there, which were actually very helpful. So, while you were specifying some downsides of using social media, one of the downside that you had listed was online conflict. So, I just wanted to understand, like, how do you suggest that we as professionals deal with any online conflict that we may encounter due to difference of opinions online? While also putting our point forward, but also try to maintain that professional identity. So, what are some tips that you can give us? Like, how do we put our point forward and also deal with the conflict effectively and while maintaining our professional image?
Yeah, correct. So, as I already mentioned, that whenever you are communicating online, you should be respectful even when you disagree. So, even if you are disagree with something, you can put up your point respectfully to the other person. Not it is not like discussing who is right or wrong, but it is like what is right or wrong. So, on a
Correct.
particular matter, if you have
Mhm.
your, you should respectfully put it over the social media, and of course the choice of word should be respectful to the other
Yeah,
person.
choice of words actually.
Yeah.
Are there any phrases that you may be using that you think that are very neutral and dignified whenever you are expressing any disagreement with someone that we can use?
uh, yeah, like we can say that
Mm-hmm.
whatever the other person is saying, it is their view, but according to us, this is
Mm-hmm.
my view and this is the
Okay.
basis for it.
Basis, I guess. Yeah,
So we can,
mentioning, yeah, how the our opinion is being formed. Correct.
yeah, so we
Hmm.
can, like, we are agree that the other person can have a different view, but we are just
Correct.
putting our view, and this is the values. Like, basically we are defining our personal values
Mm.
through the our stand.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess the first thing is we should acknowledge that they might be right at their own place, and
Yes.
but this is where our source is from. Correct,
Yes.
actually.
Mm.
Okay. And there was one more thing I just wanted to understand. I struggled with it quite a lot. That was about the screen time thing.
Hmm.
So, what are some tips or tools that you follow actually to limit your screen time? And I guess these days, LinkedIn can also be categorized as social media. So, even like we can spend hours, like uh, for 30 to 40 minutes there, mindlessly scrolling is also mind numbing. So, what are some tips that you
Yes.
follow personally?
Yeah, so some of the social media application allow you to set a timer, like when you are exceeding a daily time limit, it gives you a
Mm-hmm.
reminder. So you can
Mm-hmm.
set that reminder, or you can personally decide about the amount of time that you want to spend over social media, and also what the amount what is the content that you want to consume. So
Correct.
setting a
Okay.
daily, like a daily limit of
Mm-hmm.
time can help you. You should try not to exceed that daily limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that helps. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I guess that is from my end. If something else pops in my head, I'll ask you.
Yeah. Sure.
Hi. So there is one more questions popped up. Uh, Hello. Hi, Jagriti.
Yes.
So the
Hi.
question is counter argue when the professional colleague is wrong in online post in a constructive way.
I guess the similar question is being asked by Pooja. So my answer is same. Uh, when even if you disagree, you should communicate respectfully, because, as I said, the whatever you post online makes part of your digital footprint. So by any chance, if you are saying anything which can be taken negatively, it can impact your image also. So be respectful, acknowledge that the other person can have a different view, but also respectfully put your stand with your basis, whatever basis, whatever the personal values you have, or maybe the factual thing that you might know. Again, considering the confidentiality factor. Hello.
Yes, yes. So if someone having any more questions, kindly share. Can you share some examples of a constructive way, like how the same to be communicated? Like any particular example, if you can share from your experience or from others online.
Like in professional this thing, or
Yes, yes, yes. Continuing to your old earlier questions, like when we wanted to argue, like what kind of words to be used or what is to be like some kind of example, if you can share.
if we take the example of, like, recently there was a post from the famous industrialist about the working hours. What should be the working hours? So some says that it should be like 72 or something. Like, they have their, like, again, the person have a different perspective of working hours also. Some people say that you should be focused, or like your effort should only be to the industry or to your job, and some people try want to balance the personal and professional life. So if there is a conflict about what should be the weekly working hours, so we can put our values, like if we value the personal time also, like balancing the work life balance. So we can agree that some people are workaholic and can have that excessive working hours, but according to me this is also important, and that, and therefore what is being currently, the current practice is correct. So that way.
No more questions coming up. I hope we can conclude here. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this wonderful insight. Like we everyday use social media and that will definitely gonna help us everyone. So, and thank you all everyone for joining this session, taking your time and making it really successful. Thanks a lot. I think we are concluding this and join for the next Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.